need to talk. S-I-L-E-N-T, we don't need our words to speak. S-I-L-E-N-T, let your body set you free. S-I-L-E-N-T, follow me, I'll take the lead. Let go of your thoughts. My mind is muted, but I feel my body talk. So don't let go. Stand by the water's edge. I touch the surface and I feel you and we connect. So don't say no.
尚未领取，如有任何疑问，请按铃，由华语部门人工为您查询。
So, Arcata, California. Has anybody ever been there? Has anybody been to Arcata, California before? I never heard of it until just 2 days ago when my company called me and told me that I'm supposed to fly this trip. So I hope that this place is awesome. Heading out the house right now. Got all my stuff. Got everything packed up. Got to be at Van Nuys Airport in a few minutes. So here we go. Many trips that I go on, I don't know half the places that I'm going to. Sometimes I know, sometimes I don't. When you're flying private charter, you wind up at places that are very tiny, secluded, private airports sometimes, not your typical major airports like LAX or JFK, ATL, or anything like that. Been to all of those airports at some point, but every once in a while we go to a smaller airport. Today is one of those days. I have never been to Arcata, California before in my entire life. I looked at some pictures online and it seems like a pretty chill place. So I'm just gonna be here for a day and a half. So we're gonna overnight there for sure. And I'm looking forward to it, you know? This is always nice going to a new place. That's the upside of things. The downside, normally I can't really plan very much. I can't plan a vacation or party, a little get together in my house and all that kind of stuff like that. I can't do that too often for the simple fact that I could be called by my company and put on a trip at any time. I think the shortest amount of time that I got a phone call from a company saying, hey, we got a trip coming up, to the point where I was actually in the plane doing that trip, was about 4.5 hours. It's probably like, damn, Brian, that's crazy. 4.5 hours between you living your life and you having to work? Well, for starters, that rarely happens. Like, that's kind of like an emergency kind of thing. And even in those situations, we're usually asked if we can do this trip. Like, are you within access to come to the airport and do this trip? And majority of the time I am. So I have no problem willing to do it, you know? It looks good on my part to accept the trip and go ahead and do it, you know. But that happened like years ago, like when I was flying back when I was flying the Phenom 100s and the CJ2s, those kind of things, you know. Now that I'm flying the Challenger, it's a little bit easier, you know, because these trips are usually planned in advance, at least a few days in advance. So this trip I actually knew about because we do have an online scheduler. I did know about it like about 2 or 3 days ago. I just wasn't sure if I was the one that was going to be put on the trip because there was no name on it. But I just knew, I was aware of it. I knew that the trip existed. I knew it was supposed to happen. I just didn't know if I was going to be a part of it. But I did plan out accordingly in case I was. And turns out, yep, I was. Got that phone call and they're like, yep, can you do this trip? Like, yep, let's do it. It didn't happen like that. They actually sent me an email, you know, so I just responded to the email. It's like, yeah, I got the email. Okay, so I know I'm on a flight. But yeah, you know. So today's a short trip. We're just flying to Northern California, not the Bay Area, further north than that. We're flying nearly to the edge of California. It's called Arcata, California. And like I said, it's supposed to be a pretty nice place. The temperature is fairly reasonable, like a high of 66. I'm like, okay, I brought my jacket just in case. But yeah, I just want to get there and explore the place and just, you know, have a little bit of fun, and we'll see how this goes. But hey, I get to fly the Challenger, you know, once again, which is just an awesome experience no matter what day it is. All right, so here we go. Gotta let the gate close behind me. Can't let anybody follow me inside the airport, you know, because you know we gotta stop the tourists. You know what I'm saying? I'll stop the tourists. Or die trying.
I'll stop those tourists. Or die trying. Soul Plane 2.
You remember that? You remember? So I don't know who did it, but somebody, some genius, took the spare key that we keep near the plane. So I had to wait for Curtis to show up. Fortunately, I didn't have to wait that long, just a few minutes. But it's hot out here in Van Nuys, let me tell you. It is very hot. I'm not trying to stay out here in the hot sun for any amount of time to wait for someone to bring the key. But anyway, I'm inside now. Time to do some flight deck prep. Oh, that's great. Nobody replaced the trash bags. Thank you, sir.
You guys need fuel?
Yes. I don't know who flew this plane last, but they're putting switches in the wrong positions. That's supposed to be off, and that's supposed to be off. Damn. Got no trash bags in the plane. Got 2 switches in the wrong positions. There's probably more, I'm pretty sure. Man. But I have OCD when it comes to this flying stuff. You know, for good reason. Because you don't want to forget anything. That's why we got checklists. So apparently somebody was not using their checklist, because those switches are not supposed to be in those positions. Once we turn the batteries on and the APU, we don't want hydraulic pumps just going doing all this crazy stuff. We don't want all that. So it's supposed to be off. Whoever flew the plane last, I hope you're watching this. You're in big trouble. Okay, so I got all the Pitot 2 covers and the gear pins all in these bags, because don't want to forget those. If we do, and we pull the landing gear and it does not retract, yeah, that's gonna ruin everybody's day. Do not want that happening. Okay, I'll do my whole flight deck prep and cabin prep tutorial in another video, in case anybody else is flying a Challenger 300 out there, or any plane for that matter, because some of these habits that you form in one plane fall in place of other planes. You know, it's always good to bring good habits in anything that you fly. So a few basics I'm gonna go over in a future video. Don't know when, but I'm definitely gonna make that happen. Like I said, the vlogs are back in action, man. It's time to keep this train rolling. For now, the day is pretty busy, so I can't really film too much right now. I'm probably gonna get some shots in the air, of course, you know, and a few shots at the destination. But other than that, this is kind of like a quick run and gun kind of day. So I'm about to get these batteries running, get the APUs started, and get things rolling. All right, see you in a minute. Right, I'm here in Arcata, California, my little hotel room. Turns out we're not gonna stay like a damn elf. Anyway, turns out we're not gonna stay here in Arcata overnight. We're supposed to actually stay the night and then fly back the next night, but change the plans. We're just gonna be here for about 10 hours or so. So we still check into the hotel, because we're not gonna sit at the airport inside the airplane or or anything like that for 10 hours. There's no freaking way. There's no FBO there, so there's no place to actually lounge. So we're just checking in a hotel, about to go get something to eat. I hear the seafood is really great out here, so I'm gonna get some good old seafood and then we'll come back here and I guess chill for the rest of the time, because I don't have a whole lot of time to do much. As you can see, I changed my clothes because I did not want to wear that uniform for the next 10 hours or so. Now I'm just gonna go try some of that seafood. Yeah, so I'll be back. Yeah, that was tasty. Alright, sitting here at Houston Hobby Airport. We're getting ready to be towed from one ramp to another. For some reason, Millionaire Aviation, they really screwed it up today. We were supposed to be on the main ramp at 9:30, like plane sitting there so we can get inside the plane, get it ready for our 11 a.m. departure. But they had us on the secondary ramp, which is like it's like going to take 15 minutes for us to get towed over there. And we don't know why they did that. We actually called the office, and the lady behind the desk is like, well, you guys have an 11 o'clock departure. I'm like, yeah, that's the reason why we need to get towed. That's the reason why we need to be on the ramp right now. Anyway, about to get towed right now. Gonna start up the APU because it is pretty warm in here. After starting the APU, I like to let it run for about 2 minutes, just so we can get all the bearings warmed up, and then I'll go ahead and turn on the air. I've been told that doing that doubles the life of the APU, so why not practice, you know, good practices. All right, so they're hooking up the tow bar right now. Well, the tow truck, I should say. So, parking brake is off, which means they're good to go. Oh, what the hell? Stupid bugs, man. Another good use for checklists. Come here, you little bastard. I think I got his ass. Anyway, yeah, 2 minutes is up. Go ahead and reset that. And now I can turn on the air. I know you can't feel this cool air, but trust me, it feels good. All right, so as we're getting towed, just check and make sure we don't hit anything. Looks like our buddy here knows what he's doing. He's doing a bang up job. And by bang up job, I mean he didn't bang anything. The guy that's towing the plane right now, he just called up ground on his little mobile device to get permission to taxi across this little taxiway right here so we can get to the ramp. And he's not very good at talking on the radio. It took him a long time to get through. Sometimes you gotta be aggressive. Just keep on trying. It'll eventually get to you. It's not even that busy here today. That's the funny thing about it. All right, so we're on the ramp at Millionaire Aviation, and just doing the cockpit prep right now. So following my checklist here, of course. And everything seems to be good. The last thing you need to check is the oxygen masks just to make sure that they work. Which they do. All right, so now I can start preparing the cabin. Since I already got the clearance, I already put in the clearance information, I already put the route, flight plan, all that stuff, so we're all spiffy there. Why would they put a leaky bag of ice on Alright, put the ice in the drawer. Only one problem is this thing is full of water from the ice that melted the other day. Solution? Open a drain. Another problem. It won't open. Problem. Not good. Anybody else ever run into this problem on a Challenger? Probably gotta reset the whole plane now. Just throw the whole plane away. Alright, so we had to do a full reset on the whole airplane, which means I had to shut down the APU, shut down the batteries, shut down everything. And Curtis went outside and disconnected the batteries. So when we disconnect the batteries, you should wait about 5 minutes or so. Just wait for all the computers to reset. Damn it, Southwest. We wait for all the computers to reset, and we hook the batteries back up, and then we start up again. So Curtis is now connecting the batteries, and I believe I hear him walking back. Yeah, he's walking back, so I'm gonna go ahead and start it up again. Starting with the standby instrument. Now wait for that to come on, then the right and left batteries.
All right, you can go fire her up again.
All right, working on it right now.
All right, good deal.
that's a wrap for today. It was a short flight from Houston to Centennial, Colorado. We're out here, it's cold, and we're about to go to our hotel. I'm gonna relax. Okay, gang. In this last part of the vlog, I wanted to talk a little something about getting discouraged. Because I feel the need to do so. I mean, let's face it, we've all been through it. One way or another, some more than once. I've ran into discouragement plenty of times in pretty much any aspect of life. Primarily in my aviation career. I feel as though I had the most discouraging moments during my flight training and during the parts where I wasn't flight training because I ran out of money, or the weather was bad, or the planes were down, or anything. You know, these are all discouraging things, and sometimes it makes you so discouraged that it's hard to get back up on that horse. Now they always say, gotta get back up on that horse, right? Well, it's not always that easy. Sometimes multiple things can go wrong in your life. Some things that are just so bad that no matter how much you try to be encouraged and try to push yourself to get back on the move, you just can't. I mean, you really can, but there's this mental block that's just preventing you from doing it. I've dealt with this myself recently. Over the past, I would say, 3 to 4 months. The situation I've dealt with is probably not, no, I know for a fact it's not as intense as most others. In fact, just the fact that I've taken so long dealing with the situation is I would consider my own personal fault. Let me give a little brief summary of what happened. Some of you may already know, I went to Thailand last year in October, towards the end of October, and by far the best trip I've ever been on in my life. It was amazing. I had a great friend out there that I met out here in LA, and well, I'm not in LA right now, I'm in Denver, Centennial, Colorado, but you get the idea. That person showed me around, showed me all the cool, fun things to do out there, and it was just one of the best vacations I've ever had in my life. I would consider it the best vacation I ever had in my life. And I definitely want to do it again. And I put together a little video project of my experience. I posted it a while back. If you ever want to take a look at it, you just click right there or go in the description, whichever one you want to do. But anyway, all the enjoyment I had out of that trip, the great time that I had, the amazing way I felt when I was flying back home, completely turned around by the time I got home. Literally that exact next day. Now, I've been living in Van Nuys for about 3 years or so because it's close by work. Throughout the time I lived at my apartment, I always had a roommate with me, whether it was my best friend Demetrius or my friend Lee or this other particular guy that I don't really care too much for anymore. The first 2 roommates were amazing. The third roommate was brought in by the second roommate who had to leave because of unfortunate circumstances on his end. At first everything was great, but when I came back from Thailand, things really went to crap right after that. My roommate at the time claimed that one night he came home from wherever and somebody was blocking our parking space. Okay, so he decided to take it upon himself to park in the landlord's parking space. That's right. I said it. He parked in the landlord's parking space. And not only that, but he decided to show his ass the very next day in the landlord's office because, long and behold, he got his car towed. Big shocker, right? So I don't know what happened in the landlord's office that day, but whatever happened made the landlord feel as though she should put an unlawful detainer on our apartment, which affects me, and put a restraining order on him. Restraining order does not affect me, thankfully. Why would you do that anyway? The landlord has always known that I was a good tenant. You know, the landlord always said I'm a great tenant. The only problem is your roommate. So now I have this court case against me and him. just because of the simple fact that I live in the same apartment. Everybody in the apartment who lives there gets affected by the unlawful detainer. Fortunately, I was able to work things out with the landlord. And she knows that I'm a good tenant. So she talked to her attorney to get me removed from the case because it just made no sense that I was a part of this in the first place. The fact that I was removed so easily made me wonder why I was put out in the first place. That seems fine, right? Here's where it gets a little tricky. The court says that in order for me to be taken off the unlawful detainer and not have to deal with this court case anymore, I have to move. That's right, I have to get out. Even though I lived there originally, he came in, he messed things up, I have to leave. So, not just leave as in get out here and never come back, no. They told me to move to another unit inside the same building. So, I had to move my stuff upstairs, and thankfully I had help. But I had to move my stuff upstairs, and basically I had to do it in one day. While my roommate was in court, because I was ready to get the hell out of there. I was tired of this. I was unable to complete this in one day. Even though I had help, it was still physically impossible to do it. So I asked the landlord if it would be okay if I if I put locks on my bedroom door. Everything in the living room, all the stuff in the kitchen I got out, but everything inside my room was still there. The landlord gave me written permission to go ahead and put a lock on it. And the reason why I said I need to put a lock on it was because I was going on a trip to Mexico for five or 6 days. So I was gonna be gone. There was no way I'd be able to move my stuff and be in another country at the same time. I put the new lock on, went to Mexico, and while I was in Mexico, I got an email from the landlord saying that my roommate at the time put in a complaint about me, claiming that I stole some of his things and locked it in my room, which I have no reason to do. It was basically a little tactical move on his end to break into my bedroom and take my things. That's right, he broke in, took my things. Not everything, he took the furniture. Yeah, he took all my furniture, but he left like my paperwork, some essentials inside of a big box inside of my bedroom, which really set me off and rubbed me the wrong way, of course. Damn, I'm getting pissed off again just thinking about this. Making a long story short, he gets evicted. He gets some kind of court settlement and gets evicted. He has to leave. He leaves. I'm able to move back into the old apartment. I find out my things are gone, with the exception of some things that are in a box. And I was basically in a situation where I had to start all over. And on top of that, prior to all of this even happening, the whole parking situation, the whole unlawful detainer, everything, he already owed me quite a bit of money. He got fired from his job in early June last year, and pretty much left me stuck paying the entire rent. And unfortunately, I can't kick him out because he is also on the lease and he has tenant rights just like I do. Lesson learned, do not put anybody else on your lease if you are renting. Don't do it. I'm telling you right now, don't do it. Now, there's more to the story that I don't even really care to share, but there's some upside to it as well. During this whole process, I met some really cool people that are kind of like, you know, gave motivation boosters and just kind of helped me out. Some helped me out financially, some helped me out in different areas, some helped me like move my furniture, you know. And to all those people, if you're watching this right now, thank you for all your help, you know, help me fight this whole situation because it's been a real pain. Fast forward to now, the next step is to just start where I left off and rebuild. And so far, I've been doing that, and I've been doing it pretty well. I'm back to posting again, which has been really uplifting, making me feel great. Been working with a few of my great friends. I've been enjoying flying now more than ever, and I feel as though the upcoming months are going to be fantastic. Now, back to the topic about being discouraged. Now, I'm not sharing this story because I want anybody to feel sorry for me. I don't even feel as though I should be felt sorry for. Really, I don't. And I'm also not doing this to say, hey, I overcome this, and I'm not looking for praise or anything like that. I'm not looking for any of those things. I'm doing this in high hopes that I encourage at least one person to not think about all the negative that's going on in their life, no matter what it may be, but look towards the positive, you know, look towards the goal Look towards the end goal. If you don't have a goal, you need to make a goal. I can't stress enough how important it is to have goals. I've actually done a video project recently with a good friend of mine that I know since elementary school. He's like a motivational speaker slash preacher in the making, and he's always talking about motivation and setting goals and doing that kind of stuff. So, you know, I'm taking a little bit from him as well. Shout out to you, Kyle, if you're watching this. That's really it, you guys. I mean, I don't want to make this video too long. I actually want to hear from you. If you guys have gone through anything discouraging or going through it right now, you know, let's talk about it. You know, leave a comment down below or message me, follow me on Instagram, you know, message me there. Let's talk about this, because sometimes you just need somebody to talk to, and that's actually what I needed. I needed to talk to someone. I needed to talk to multiple people, as a matter of fact. And when you start hearing the same thing from everybody, you really need to listen. And everybody told me, you know, not to worry about it. I'm a firm believer that karma is real, and this person that you know decided to be a toll on my life is definitely going to pay for it. And I think it's already happening, to be honest. And no matter what you're going through, whether it's financial struggles, relationship struggles, family struggles, work struggles, or you're just in a mindset where you don't even know what's wrong, I've been there too. If you're in any of those situations or anything else, talk to somebody about it. Talk to somebody about it. Seek help if you have to, or you can just do the classic, get off your ass and hop back on the horse. Whatever works for you. Anyway, I'm done with the sad, depressing speech. Don't feel sorry for me. Please don't feel sorry for me. I will be just fine. Like I said before, if anybody wants to talk about it, hey, I'm listening. I hope I encourage at least one person to get out there and make something happen for themselves. If I encourage at least one, then this is rewarding for me, and that's the reason I'm posting this video. Hope you enjoyed the vlog, and I will catch you on the next one, which I assure you would be way more uplifting than this one. All right, fly safe, aviators, and everybody else. Peace.
Whoop your ass. Your girlfriend look like my mom.